Hey guys, so I just finished first place at Age of Overlord premium event with Brandon, of course. So just wanted to give a quick profile. Definitely go check out that Brandon tip video that I posted recently. And yeah, let's get right to it. I guess actually before we start, I just want to shout out Team Samsies again. Definitely use my code for 10% off at tsx1.com. Anyways, we're going to start off with the 3 Fallen Babas. The main deck actually hasn't changed too much since the last time I did a profile. Pretty much the only thing that really changed is like the rarity upgrade. Of course, the 3 Aluber. And then the only main change I made was actually I'm playing double Clem now. I sort of started seeing some of the topping lists recently, playing this at 2. I do think it can definitely come up. I basically cut the one kit from the previous list because I always thought that was the kind of the weakest card in my deck, and now I think this is actually still good, especially when you already had this early in circulation. And then let's say like you get nibbed or something like Granules, you also always have another Clem live, especially to recover that Sanctifier for the gimmick lock. The last Destiny monster is the Tragedy. I'm not playing Adlib as usual because I find when I'm playing the gimmick lock, it's very hard to get both that and Adlib play kind of live. I feel like because I'm prioritizing gimmick, there was no need for the Adlib, but you can always play it if you want. Double Cartesia, nothing too crazy about that. Definitely need to play 2 though, at least. 1 Shrouded Dragon, the 1 Mercurier. Again, nothing too special here. The Bestials, I'm just playing the Serenier and Rebellion still. I do have a couple Dualism in the side. I originally was playing 1 Magma in the main as well. I was trying it out. I eventually just decided to cut it for a couple of Fenrirs. And of course, the MVP of this deck, unfortunately, is the Gimmick Puppet. Definitely, you can check my recent video in terms of, making sure you can gimmick lock even through like a Nibiru, for example. We also have the 1 Dark Magician for the Dragoon. Definitely comes up in more like mid-late game scenarios. It's not really a turn 1 board thing in Branded for the most part. We also have the Double Fenrir that I was trying out recently. I actually really like this, surprisingly. Originally, I was never too big of a fan with Fenrir, but I find just being able to have an extra layer of interruption on top of, maintaining hand advantage because you search it Fenrir and then you can, let's say, pitch for like Branded Opening or even on your opponent's turn Super Poly. When I did play Kit, it was kind of nice being able to return 1 to the bottom of the deck after searching and then you just search it again next turn. But you know what, that's not really much that you're sacrificing. Onto the spells, we have the 3 Branded Fusion. They ash you and you kind of cry, but not really. To be honest with you, depending on if you also have like, let's say like Nadir Servant, like there are various ways you can still gimmick lock through Ash on Branded Fusion, so it's actually not completely lethal. Triple Branded Opening, just to get your Aluber or the Quem, depending on if you already have hard access to Branded Fusion. The 1 Lost, this is really, really busted. Definitely make sure you're fresh on your rulings. When it comes to this card, you really don't want to get screwed over. Branded Red, High Spirits, I really like this card, especially to kind of like unbrick certain hands. I think if you also again check my recent video, you'll be able to find out how I can play through Nibiru. Even if I get Nibiru on the Sanctifier, I can also still like gimmick lock potentially depending on the hand, and you can definitely go check that out. We also have the 3 Fusion Deployment, really self-explanatory. You're bringing out Cartesia for the most part, sometimes Fallen of Babas when you're going second to just fuse away. Double Nadir Servant, this is something that really does come up, especially when you get ashed on the Branded Fusion. Can help you at least, like, let's say even gimmick lock under the best circumstances. Foolish and Gold Sark, just to help you get access to the Aluber. Also, 3 Super Poly. I don't know how I feel really about this card. I think in the format, it's not particularly amazing, but it's just in Branded. You can get this card live quite often, and I do still really like it, especially because this deck sometimes, especially when you get Ash going first, you do have the tendency to just pass, and like Quem plus like this can actually honestly help your deck, or rather your turn 1 board explode. We're playing still Double Thrust and the 1 Talent. I really like this going first or second. It's really nice. This is to set the fusion loop. And going second, you can always get something like Branded Fusion, so it's nice in a deck like this where you have such a powerhouse spell that you can search. The 1 Callby, just to kind of complete that set. Still doing double Book of Eclipse. I don't know how I feel about this anymore. I think against like tier limits, if you can somehow manage to get through like an Omni Negate, if they set it up, then it can be very strong. Against Pearly, it can be good if they don't hard make the Nor. Otherwise, going first, if you have this, then it's not really going to be good for you, unfortunately. And then finally, the traps, Retribution, the duplication. This is really, really MVP. Just being able to duplicate Fusion and helping you get to that gimmick lock even through an Ash. And then, of course, double Imperm, and that makes a 48 card main deck, which I'm sure is making some of you cringe very hard. Onto the extra, this also changed only a little bit. Double Albion Brand Dragon, and then the 1 Rebellion, really standard. Same thing with the Mirror Jade, as well as the 1 Sanctifier for the gimmick lock. 1 Rimbrum, just for that Albus Fusion. The only thing I changed was that I got rid of the Cordis, actually, and just put a Sprint just because I felt like, Cordis, when it comes up, it can be really good, but for the most part, it's a card I bring out the least, and I really wanted to have another card I can sound off of, let's say, Mirror Gate, and worst case, if someone, for some reason, is playing Contact C, I also have a way to get out of it, and just getting access to Albaz. The one Granule, I wish I could play too if I could, but yeah, really hard to foot. The one Lulu, so this is also, for the most part, you're sending this off into your Servant. Sometimes it comes out through Granule. Just remember that this cannot come out if you're already Fusion Locked for the turn. And then the Super Poly targets. This isn't technically only a Super Poly target. You bring it out also of Branded Red. And then of course Guardian Chimera, and also Dragoon, which is a really good board breaker. And then finally onto the side, I decided to actually just go back with Ash against any kind of like Brandon matchup, Labyrinth matchup. Just really good. Against even Tears can be actually pretty good, just stopping the Calvek Gakito. I decided to also get rid of the Nibiru and just go with Droll instead because I was afraid of Return of Manedium / Dark World, especially post Age of Overlord Dark World. I think there's going to be a lot of hype, so I think it's very good. I decided to play some Disc Shields in Druid's Worm, good against Unchained. Obviously, you need it against something like Tear Elements. We do have also a lot of Flunder, which I personally don't think we have a very good match against, so I'm still sticking with the Zombie World Necrobanshee. Against Dragon Link, they also have a lot of Bisc Shields, so you're probably not getting the Gimmick Lock Life, so this also comes in very clutch against them. And some random just one-ofs just for / thrust, and you just whatever. If you draw it, you draw it. Dark Ruler, Herald Abyss, Evenly, Harpies, and Lightning Storm. So yeah, that's it for the deck list. I just want to shout out also Derpy Cards. Definitely thanks for hosting a great tournament, and yeah, take care guys.